On the 12th day of Christmas. Oh, no, not yet. The 12th day of Christmas. Hey, it is Friday, December 12th, 2025, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on the West Coast. I am Brandon Bleasel, and this is Success Never Sleeps, where we as a collective of people, man, we're just trying to figure this thing out. You know, life is precious, life is a gift, but it's even better when we can live from purpose, when we can sustain our lifestyles and our family and our team and give back to the community. Had a long conversation with a spiritual friend of mine, and I just told him, I love to give. There's nothing more gratifying in this world than to serve people and help people. Because I think when you can genuinely help people that are grateful, that are appreciative, it instills a sense of hope, right? And we need hope in this world. We just do. And when I see successful school owners because of what we've offered them through Success Never Sleeps or through our mentoring program or through anything that we do, I'm just super, super, super grateful for that. There's nothing more gratifying or satisfying. So I just wanted to throw that in there. Let's begin by thanking our sponsors. Bob Poole from Goals Martial Arts is here. As you come aboard, say hi. Tell us where you're tuning in from. Who do we have? We have Tucson Market Muscles. We have My Studio. We have Kids Live Life Skills, LC Accounting, and of course, Kin Creative. All companies I work with, all companies that have impacted the success of my businesses, and who I encourage you to please, please, please at least check them out. Right? Check them out. And you can DM me or Marco, and we'll be happy to discuss it with you too as well. Cool. Our It's Time group mentoring full swing. Had a great meeting today. And we're just discussing the power of a brand. We're discussing purpose and why, the types of things that Fortune 500 companies talk about, Apple, Disney, Nike. And it's really what I think makes the difference in our industry. And it's so overlooked. Why? I don't know, because people are uneducated. They don't want to spend the time learning that. But for me, I wasn't happy with the information I was getting within our industry. So what did I do? I went outside and I gathered companies that I not only used products, I believe in them. I believe in their philosophies. I believe overall in what they do. So it was an easy fit for me to embrace those companies and bring that type of learning into not only the martial arts industry, it's the foundation of our It's Time group mentoring. Cool? All right. So what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? As you come aboard, say hi, tell me where you're tuning in from, and we'll make it happen. So, you know, what we're fundamentally doing is preparing for 2026 now. Success leaves clues, right? It's not something you sit there at the end of the month and come to me and say, hey, how do I get 10 new students? I got to make rent. No, no, no. You come to me with that question. The first thing I say is you need to go back to the drawing board, write a proper business plan, write proper budgets, projections, the whole 9 yards. Because the skill set to being a great martial arts instructor is not the same skill set to being a successful small business owner. So I'm passionate about that. And for me in particular, I want to share with you that you should be planning for your entire next year now, right? I think a couple of weeks ago, we discussed the calendar. And in that calendar, we've already put every bit of curriculum, what weeks it's being taught, the learn week, the earn week, the striping, belt testing dates are already in the calendar, workshops, black belt prep, all of that is in our calendar first. Next was all the community events, right? Everything we do to serve the community, impact the community, and of course, create brand awareness. Everything in-house that's lead generating as well as retention events. Those are put in. Budgets, those are put in, right? All of that is put in to our calendars so that we can be successful. If you're going to do a parents' night out in February for Valentine's Day, please tell me you're already planning it the first week of January. Because a great event, you fundamentally want to take 6 to 8 weeks to promote it well, right? 6 to 8 weeks. Promote it with a flyer in the school, an announcement in the class, an email, right? If it's a buddy day for confidence building, I find parenting groups at Facebook. I post them there, on and on and on, right? Making up an event at the end of the month to try to make $20 more is simply not a great way to run a successful business or a sustainable business or a growth-oriented business. So I want you to be mindful of that. So talking about December, the first thing for us we have a tuition increase every year, right? January 1st, cost of living increase. And it goes up roughly $10 a month. We tell them that $10 a month, two lattes at Starbucks. You really make it simplified in layman's terms so nobody's freaking out that all of a sudden you're, raising things up like what? I guess like insurance premium is about to go up at the end of the year, right? It's not like that. So I think it's really important that you build in a cost of living increase every year and that you put incentives in place for your existing people. So we do once a year, and I'm not big on cash outs. I don't like cash outs because you got to take that money, put it in a separate bank account, and spread it out over 12 months. That's cool. The problem is people take cash outs, spend all the money, and then they're hurting, come March and they can't make rent because you've got, 300 students that all did paid in fulls, right? So you got to be mindful. Anytime you take a paid in full, put it in a separate account and drip it out into your main account every month based upon what a monthly tuition would be. So we allow people to do that. We never really advertise it other than this time of year. And you can do 1 year paid in full. You want extra savings? Now that's at the 2025 rate. Somebody asked me, do you grandfather people in? No, we don't. You don't sit there, someone that's been paying you $99 for 20 years and you continue that behavior. No way. Your rent goes up, your payroll goes up, your insurance goes up every year. And this person's still paying you $99 because they've been paying you that for 20 years. That $99 isn't even worth $99 like it was 20 years ago. Does that make sense? Yeah, 20 years ago, $99 bought you a lot more. $99 does not buy you that today. So you need to incrementally increase everybody's tuition. Now, if you are grandfathering in people, and that happens, right? You tell them, okay, you can buy this $99 for 1 year, paid in full. After that year, it goes up to the regular current 2026 tuition fees. At some point, you got to make that jump, people. You just simply do. But I believe a lot of people are afraid to do that, and I'm going to tell you why. People are afraid to do that because they're not investing time and money in curriculum development. They're not investing time and money into staff development. They're not investing time and money into bettering the mat space, the bags, the pads, all those things. They're not spending the time investing money into curriculum videos, right? The things that our core product is martial arts instruction. And if you know with all confidence and humility that you are putting time and money into bettering that product of learning and instruction, you should have no beef with increasing your tuition every year incrementally. You shouldn't. Not at all. Not at all. But I think subliminally, because people don't put any time or money into that, right? I just got off a call and one of my mentoring people was saying his friend only needs 12 students. I said, well, he only needs 12 students. Well, what is that? What business plan allows me to be profitable with 10 students unless I'm charging each one what? $10,000 a month? I don't see how that makes any sense, but that's what he said. And so, I want to be mindful of that for me, that if you believe in what you do, and I don't mean egotistically, you genuinely believe in what you do, then you will make regular tuition increases. Again, incentivizing it is always a good day. I like doing that. It's a good day. Cool. All right. So what else we got going on? Now, this advice I'm sharing with you is, pretty much for people with 150 students or less. A lot of these things we don't do today and we don't need to do today, but we're also a very established business, a lot of good reviews. We continue to better everything about our business. So we're confident to move forward without a lot of these gimmicky sales. But 150 students or less, I please encourage you to do this. You got it? All right. So, a new student winter special, you could do something like $99. So 3 months for $299 plus a uniform, right? Something as basic as that, but they got to use it in January and there has to be a time stamp on it to use that. There's nothing the matter with that. I think the goal is getting them over whatever the sticker shock's going to be after that 3 months and really wowing them to the point where they realize this is something they need, not want. They got to realize this is an integral part of their child's life and not an extracurricular activity. If you can get to that point, then you don't need to do a special like that. Cool? All right. Some people will do 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, they'll do lifetime memberships. Again, not things that we advocate for. We're a month to month business because we believe it's a low barrier of entry, right? It's month to month, no enrollment fee, no cancellation fee. So it's very simple with what we do. Now, I know some people believe a 1 year contract, we're teaching people commitment. Okay, so be it. If that's what you believe, then that's what you believe. I'm cool with that, right? But for us, everything is month to month, subscription based model, very acceptable in the world, and something. Let me turn that off. And something a lot of people advocate for. Cool. So you can do 10% off 3 months, 6 months, or 1 year, 2 year. That type of incentive built in needs to be there, right? And if they pay it in full, they can save 10%. Everybody's looking for a deal through Black Friday, Cyber Monday, the holidays, right? Everybody wants a deal, including me. I got a new espresso machine. I've been waiting for that thing to come down by a couple $100. It did. It did. So I got a new one, right? I got a new one. So we all want deals. And I think as we begin to earn money, that the reason we have money is because we learn to spend it well, right? A lot of people make a lot of money and spend a lot of money and end up broken in debt. So it's important when you make money is to spend it well. Write it down and live by that. Cool. And if you're coming aboard, say hi. I love it when I know people are here hanging out with us. Holiday super sale, that could be a big one. That could be a big one. People do that in December. It's not something we do anymore because we're not a retail store, right? We're not a retail store, but we do have a big party. It's coming up this Saturday. And for us, it's really about giving back. Everybody who comes to this party gets a t-shirt. We have their sizes. We just got the orders in. We're ready to go. They'll do that. Santa Claus will be there. They can take a picture for free. And these are good Santas, not some, janky Santa. This is a really good looking Santa. And, we invest in that because they don't have to go to the mall and spend money. They can come to us and take a great picture with Santa, which is a keepsake. We have a bunch of backdrops. They take pictures, and they post them at social media. They earn tickets. They do the arts and crafts project. They earn 3 tickets. They scan the QR code and leave a Google review. They get 5 tickets. The more tickets they earn, the better chance they have of winning in the drawing, right? You with me? And so this event becomes this type of cultural event, but as well, it helps promote the brand of our school through social media. Think about it. We'll have 80 families that are coming to Millbrae because that's our capacity on Saturday. And they will all social media because they want to earn tickets. We give out gift cards to Target, Trader Joe's, Visa gift card for $100. We give away a week of camp. We give away a birthday party. So you walk in there and you walk out with all of this value. As we go into the holiday break, which we're closed from a week, you're just like, when's the next party? See, so again, it's very strategic in that month of December, but do it right. Do it right. Again, if you have less than 150 students, you should be doing free birthday parties for your existing members. That's been around forever. It's something I highly recommend. All they do is provide the pizza and the cake. You provide the facility, you provide the staff, and you go from there. But of course, going back to your calendar, it's got to fit that calendar, right? I am not taking out a stripe workshop or black belt workshop or anything that's going to make our curriculum, administering the curriculum suffer to put an event there. Please be mindful of that. So we only have a certain amount of dates for birthday parties that are open. We've budgeted for it because we need to pay staffing for it. And once they're done, they're done. We don't do any more than that. But the thing neat about those existing birthday parties free to your existing members is it is a way to generate leads. Cool. It's a great time of year to really acknowledge yourself as a business that cares and gives back. I say this all the time. Well, Gary Vee said this, not me. What is your ROI on caring? You can't even put a price tag on it. Your return on investment for caring in the community is just priceless. Because the saying is, nobody cares what you know until they know that you care. Okay? And by doing these acts of kindness, by paying it forward, you best position your business as a business that cares and gives back. And that perception to parents or anybody else out there puts you first in line for if and when they want to enroll in martial arts, you'll be on their radar. I think the challenge with those types of events is people are always looking, what is my ROI? I can't tell you how many events people have done that I've suggested, and they come back to me and say, that was a waste of time and money. And I would go, well, how so? I didn't get any leads from it, sir. I said, okay. Was it goodwill? Did you pay it forward? Well, yeah. What's the point? Well, that's the point. That's the point. Because those types of dividends you may not see today or tomorrow, but you will see on the back end, and you will reap those benefits. You will reap those benefits. You will reap them. But again, as I always share, I'm a farmer. I'm a farmer. I don't do GMO corn that, grows on steroids and cement and stuff in 3 months. It's not the way I roll. I want to be a blueberry or walnut farmer. 7 years to maturation till you get a good walnut tree. So you're not making money off that walnut tree for 7 years. But once it produces crop, it does so year in and year out with very simple maintenance. And that's the thing about a great business. Once you grow it and build it, other than tweaks and things, it should run well. It should run well. Cool. Winter day camp. If you're not doing winter day camp, I highly recommend that. Winter day camps. We only do 3 days. It's going to be the 22nd, 23rd, and January 2nd. Again, it's something parents need. It's something that can be additional revenue. A lot of our day camp staff is home from college for Christmas break. They love to work it. It's only a couple of days. So winter camp, I think, is really, really good. We're also promoting early registration for summer day camp. 100 days, $100 off the first 12 spots on any given week. Then it goes to $50 or $75, and then I think $25. So again, we're already promoting day camp for summer now. Yes, now. We're promoting it at the end of summer camp at the end of August. Yeah. So again, success is something you plan for, and I want you to be mindful of. Other community events that we do that we're extremely passionate about, Toys for Tots. That's a big one with the fire department. We also do One Warm Coat. Again, it's positioning ourselves for a designated drop off. So anybody with toys can come by and drop them off at our schools. Anybody with coats can come by. And to walk into our school and you've never been there, simply to drop off coats and you get an eye full of what's going on, planting seeds, right? You want to plant seeds early and often. That's been a saying that's been around forever for business and relationships to have a successful life. So plant seeds early and often. We are promoting the tar out of it. Everyone's so excited about the holiday party that we're happening for us this Saturday at both locations. And the drawing, again, everything that to give back right before a tuition increase. Very smart, very strategic. Give back. Encouraging you to buy that when you're paid in full. It's there. Give back. We do it all year long, and then we're closed at the end of December, right? For the holidays. So all those things are reasons why people would come back. Another big one is belt testing. We always have belt testing every 4th month. So this one falls on December, right? Makes people not want to quit. Because if you look at your quit rate in December, in most schools, it's pretty higher than average, right? It's higher than average, especially if you're month to month like us, because people need to take a break or people want to think about things or do something different. It just comes with the territory. So we have things in place like belt testing. We have a black belt testing coming up. All our instructors in training, black belt workshops, those things need to be business as usual, right? Because it's the consistency of doing those types of things, the workshops, the belt testing, getting everybody through black belt testing that builds trust. Consistency earns trust. Another cultural event we do that's huge for retention, day after Christmas and New Year's Day. You saw we did it on Thanksgiving morning, a 2-hour extreme kickboxing workout. Yes, you heard that. A 2-hour extreme kickboxing workout. The next one is the day after Christmas from 10 to 12. And the one after that will be New Year's Day from 11 to 1, right? Again, it's a cultural thing. It's not about generating revenue. It's about building the culture. Because every great business, whether it's Apple, Disney, Nike, I've used all these examples, they spend a lot of time and money on cultivating the culture, the community of that business, because that's what sustains you through good times and bad. If I got to go spend 40 hours a week with you, it better be a good 40, right? No, not even asking that. These kids come to us twice a week for what, 45 minutes? So I really recognize the art of making someone being happy to spend 40 hours a week with you and be away from their kids and all the rest. It better be a good experience. Don't you agree? If we can take 10% of what Apple or Nike or Disney or Google or any of them do and put that into our business where people are only coming for 45 minutes twice a week, it's a win-win. You with me? And that's what baffles me. When I went into Facebook, and this is just a side note and a side story, but it has big relevance, so pay attention. Hey, Art, what's happening, Art? Art Jury. Good afternoon, sir. As you come aboard, if you're here, say hi, all right? Let me know that you're here. So I did an event at Meta. The first one was a self-defense workshop, but I checked in. I was able to walk the campuses, and there are 9 rectangular buildings, 8 or 9, and they're shaped in a rectangle. And the buildings like this, and in the middle is all open quad, right? So imagine that rectangular building, but the center of it, you could look out any window from this rectangular quad and look down into an open space. In this quad, they had a commissary with all these different foods. They had a dry cleaner. They had a place that was like a nacho snack shop. You can just get nachos. They had one for sweets. And I realized it's all designed to do one thing: keep you there. That's what it's designed to do. Keep you there. Because the more time you spend there, well, the more you're going to be productive and work, right? Especially with startups, especially with tech companies, their deadlines are kind of skewed, right? They're always working to keep up with technology. And it's designed that way. The second time when I spoke at Meta, I did a talk on global leadership post pandemic. It was like Las Vegas. I walked into the main building that Zuckerberg's in, and there were no windows down here. There were no clocks. There was like a maze, right? It's like walking through IKEA. You don't know where you are. You have to follow all the arrows if you want to get out. There's no distinct exits, but it was like Las Vegas. I didn't know if it was day or night when I was at Meta. And that was brilliant. I get it. So now, I mean, if we can replicate some of that in our martial arts school, it's powerful. So things culturally like this day after Christmas kickboxing workout and this New Year's Day workout builds that. It builds just that. My Thursday night kickboxing class is huge again. You know why? Because culturally, we're helping support the people that come to it. They bring their kids, the kids sit in the back, they watch TV, they eat popcorn. Who'da thunk, right? Who'da thunk? But they don't get that in a lot of. But I think what happened was the 24-hour fitness upstairs stopped childcare altogether. Bad choice. Bad choice. They're coming to us. Um, You could do things like check-in contests, refer a friend, those types of things seasonally or year-round are not a bad thing. I think the thing is just don't have them back to back to back to back because that just kills your culture. Oh, what? We got a check-in contest. If I check in at Yelp or whatever, I get a ticket. Oh, if I, bring a friend to class. Oh, and everything is some kind of gimmick. You're going to kill your culture because cultures don't want to behave that way. But if it's a seasonal thing, like just around the holidays when people are in the mood for giving, different things like that, I recommend it. Now, a referral program where we pay you $50 and you get it taken off next month's tuition, that's year round, 24/7. It's optional and it's up to you. Cool? All right, so that's just December, and that brings us into January, okay? So now, all these things we do set us up for success in January. I'll do a bunch of videos, the last bit of redos, and I can finally lay to rest white to black belt. It's now done. The latest incarnation of our curriculum, 4 years from white to black, are done. The videos, we're redoing them now. Those will be done before January 1st. Will that carry us through the year of 2026? Absolutely. If you don't have great curriculum videos for people to practice with, I think it's detrimental to your retention and one you want to be mindful of. January, things like a Martin Luther King Day camp, President's Day camp, those can be very viable. We go in and send out a We Miss You postcard. It's one of the things we do every 6 months. If you've been a student, if you took a trial in the past year, you did martial arts with us in the past year and quit, or we make sure to take care of those things. Hey, what's happening, sir? What's happening? I know this man. I know the way it says in there. It's not being his name's not being written correctly. Um, So we want to make sure that we send out "We Miss You" postcards. That's a big one, right? Even if they did a trial in January of 2025, we can say, "Hey, we missed you. Just checking in. It was a great trial, a great introductory class, and we would have hoped you signed up. Are you ready to do that now?" Right? So again, I think we don't spend enough time nurturing past leads, people who quit, people who inquired but never took an intro class. That to me, your email list is still gold. And a lot of people have, because they're so tech driven now, think your email list is dead. It's not dead. You just may not be using it well, and you may not be using it consistently, but double back. There's a lot of leads in there that might have taken an intro with you, but they just weren't ready to sign up at that time. And they need a little reminder or a kick in the pants, right? But again, if I've got to send out 5,000 on a list, I'm going to use MailChimp and do an e-newsletter. Okay, something like that. That's fine, to do that. And if people opt out, so be it. I opt out of things every day. It doesn't mean nobody likes me. There you go. There's his name, sir. Rigoberto Miloy Mal. What a great name. That's your complete name. Thank you, sir. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So I want to do that as well. Another one that's coming up and people don't think about, how many of you do day camps? Does anyone do day camps out there? We do. So it's a great time to look at the camp fairs, right? A lot of stuff is digital. Moms can go into ChatGPT and search, but there's still that market of parents that want to walk up to a booth at a camp fair, look somebody in the eye, take hard copy stuff. It's a one-stop shop. It's convenient. They can do it all in one day. So look for camp fairs and start booking those in if you do day camps. I think that's a big one as well. Now, if you did do some kind of super sale in December, and you have leftover product, blow it out in January. 50% off whatever's left over, cups you didn't sell. I don't know, whatever you didn't sell in your super sale. For us, it's a great time to clean out inventory, right? Stuff that didn't sell, stuff we didn't really use. We will take it and either give it away or we'll sell it at a minimum. I had a bunch of extra sparring gear stuff that I'll put on a table on Thursday and say, free, take it. And people will. People absolutely will. When we talk about lead generating events, you should be looking into your community for how you can do three things. And this should be part of your calendar. Number one, monetary donations. If you can't afford that, service, donating your time, right, to an e-waste gathering where they get monitors and computers, right? I share that story quite often. I did e-waste for a couple of hours and I stood shoulder to shoulder with the superintendent of schools, a principal of another elementary school, the PTA president. You can't buy that type of audience. And it's such a different vibe when you're all sitting there sipping coffee, waiting for someone to pull up in a car versus you standing there in front of an administrative person, scheduling an appointment during the school day to walk into their office and do your pitch, right? It's called being human. It's just a different day. Hey, David, what's happening, Sir David Diaz? Good morning, sir. So that's a big one too. And I believe the frustration school owners feel with trying to get into the elementary school system is because of their approach. It's not that there's no need, it's your approach. It's the hard sell. You come in August in a karate uniform and a box of donuts and say, hey, I know you're planning for this school year. I was just thinking about you. It's just ulterior motives, right? It's all ulterior motives. But again, if you genuinely just serve, you might find you're putting yourself in situations of opportunity to create relationships, right? The problem with you walking into a school like that, it's transactional. I want to promote my business. Can I be PE teacher of the day? Can I do that? Can I come in and do a confidence building workshop, right? Can I do that? So I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying the approach is a rough one sometimes, and that line is long. Very common. You go to an elementary school and they'll say, oh, I've been using this martial arts guy forever and he does great confidence. We're good. I've gotten that many times. So I didn't want to stand in that long line and take a number. So I cultivated new ways to do that. We have the cotton candy machine. That thing goes to movie night. It goes to back to school night. It goes to International Food Day, all those different things. It's there because somebody wants cotton candy. They don't always want to watch your demo team, right? They simply don't. So again, being creative in your way of getting into those elementary schools are super, super important. So I want to challenge you right now. I want you to take your calendar and every month do one of those three things: donate money, donate your services, like here's 1 week of camp to your silent auction, or donate your time. They always need somebody to substitute crossing guard. They always need somebody to help them with the crab feed. They always need somebody, right, for an e-waste event. They always need it. So I want you to really be mindful. Make that part of your marketing plan and table the ROI. That's the big thing with that. Table that freaking ROI. If every event you do is with your hand up like this, what it's in it for me, what's in it for me, what's in it for me, you will lose. Nobody wants that because it's transactional. Write that down. You don't want to be a transactional business. You want to be a relational business. Everything you do is to cultivate long-term relationships in your community, right? Fortunate when I did that talk on control and determination at the elementary school, she introduced me as a community leader who gives back. We weren't even a martial arts school. The principal introduced me as a community leader who gives back. That I definitely want that all day, every day. So again, you have to see the value in it. And I've owned businesses for over 35 years, not only martial arts schools, other businesses. And I will tell you, my best business are with those I have a good relationship with because we're service based, right? So the ones you have a good relationship with are the ones. You with me? Okay. Lots of stuff, right? I know this is a lot. This is a lot for you to think about. This is a lot for you to have to embrace. But if you want to be successful, then this is just what needs to happen. If you really believe all you need to do is open the door and teach classes, I'm going to tell you, you're sadly mistaken. The book E Myth by Michael Gerber, which is one I recommend all you read, and I've said it time and time again, right? You want to be a baker because you love baking. Well, guess what? You're no longer just a baker. You order supplies, you budget, you do social media, you do marketing, you do creative in-house events, be it a chocolate chip cookie night or, a reading of the night before Christmas with chocolate chip cookies and milk for the kids in your store. You're doing all those different things to get people to not only eat your products and buy them, but to believe in you as a business, right? So there's so many other moving parts. And you're the janitor and you're everything, right? So that's the big thing. And people have such a huge misconception and why they don't do a lot of this other work, because they truly believe all they have to do is open the door, take money, and teach classes. It's not. There's a lot of moving parts. And once you recognize that, and the thing is the awareness. Most school owners don't realize, you know, what is good marketing. Most of them don't realize how to better their curriculum. Most of them don't realize to have a CRM system like My Studio, right? You just don't realize it. It's not, and I often get there, well, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. And you didn't. So you need to go out there and work with people like us at It's Time Group Mentoring and get that knowledge, right? But it takes money to make money. You got to spend that money to do so. You with me? You with me? And your return on investment isn't in a day. And we're talking about digital media and all the money people spend up front. But once you pass that tipping point and you've got that 40, 50 new students that they've gotten you, and you've got your retention better because you shut the back door, that investment, those first 30, 40, 50 students pay for your marketing every month. Everything beyond that is gravy. You with me? I hope you get that, because a lot of people don't. Just for a minute, stop and look at a Super Bowl ad. They spend millions of dollars for an ad that may or may not work. They've used focus group and test groups, but there's still a good chance that ad is going to flop and do nothing. That's a trip, right? But it's not. And great companies market well. Great companies budget for it. It's the same thing here. Going back to the planting seeds theory, we're constantly planting seeds, and planting more seeds. Cool? All right. Interschool tournament, we do it once a year. Jason Smith, a friend of mine, and he's in our It's Time Group Mentoring. He works for us and with us. He does, I think, tournaments every quarter. And interschool tournaments may not be big, But the point is, it's a big part of his culture and people love it and they participate in these tournaments. So we have an inter-school tournament that comes in late March, April. I don't know what the date is for 2026, but we'll be promoting it in January. Yeah. Yeah. You want a successful event? You got to promote way in advance. Cool. Anything, safety workshops, confidence building workshops, anti-bullying workshops, all those things should be there. But I believe they need to be community based and you should be promoting them at social media parenting pages, nextdoor.com. And these are free events to the community. Those should be every month. And in your first quarter of 2026, you better have something going on because all those different events help plant seeds. So if and when they're ready to sign up for martial arts, they come to you. They come to you. Valentine's Day, Parents Night Out. Ooh, that one's coming up. Again, it's a retention event. We're going to start promoting it in January. It always books up and parents love it. They love it. Because again, if I give you $100 and you give me $500 worth of value, I'm a happy camper. So beyond what you pay us in your tuition, people are going to enjoy that holiday party this Saturday with all the prizes and the treats and all the rest. People are going to enjoy the parents' night out. They're going to enjoy the Easter party. They're going to enjoy the holiday party, the Halloween party, all of it. All of those are retention building events, adding value beyond the amazing curriculum and instruction and life skills that we currently offer. You with me? But just don't look at those events as ROI. Look at them as attrition. Ways to reduce your attrition, the ways to increase your retention. That's what those events should be for. Now, should you have lead generating events too? Yeah, if you can work them into your calendar. But I understand the best lead are the ones that are referred. Nothing better than to have a satisfied parent tell another friend how amazing your school is. So we incentivize it with a referral program. Refer somebody to us, they sign up for a membership, you get $50 off your next month's tuition. Because you really want to build the heart and soul of a culture, you need to get people who believe in what you do. And if they're willing to go out there and refer your business, believe me, that action alone tells me they believe in us. Cool. We talked about the free birthday parties to existing members. Keep doing it. Should be every month. There's a certain amount of dates set aside for that. Again, within your budget, because you have to pay staff unless you're doing it yourself. And if you're doing it yourself, you do too many of them, you're going to burn out. So I think we do 2 a month, 1 at each location or 2 at each location. But these are booked birthday parties for us now. We don't have to do free ones, right? But even the paid ones, we keep them very limited. Yep. God, that's just the tip of the iceberg. So let's start talking about takeaways. David, Rigoberto, Art, Bob, what are some of your takeaways today? Start putting them in there. Anybody? What you got? What you got? Well, I'm going to tell you what's up for me. As I shared, my goal is to finish. I need to finish black belt prep. White to black belt. That is a must. The book, The One Thing, is a really good book. I think it's by James Clear, or maybe he did Atomic Habits. But getting one thing done to fruition is important. My guys are just breathing down my neck to do black belt prep. And I'm telling them right now, I will not even look at it until I know I'm done with their 4-year curriculum that gets them into black belt prep. I do not want to look over my shoulder. I do not want to be thinking it's incomplete. I will feel really, really good about myself if I can completely finish it. So they need to give me their redos. And it's based upon what? We've been teaching it for a whole year, right? We now know what's working in the classes. We now know what isn't working in the classes. So for me, that's super important that I finish it. But I do enjoy the luxury of being able to redo these curriculum videos on a whim. I have a great camera. I have a great microphone. Everything's in place to achieve that. So I'm very happy with that. What's Art working on? Start doing events. Good. I need to find out how to get on lists. What lists are you talking about? You have to have a calendar of year-long events. You do. Claire is Atomic Habits. Thank you, Art. Build the foundation. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of moving parts. And again, I'm a great martial artist, so I believe I'm a great martial arts instructor. That doesn't mean I know anything about business, anything, right? So I think for me, it's super important that I get the learning. The thing is, you don't know what you don't know, right? Well, what learning am I supposed to get? I get that. I get that. But you spend all this money on rent, you spend all this money, on advertising your business, and you spend no money on your personal development as a business owner. That makes no sense. 0 cents. And when you do your budgeting, you should have a certain amount of money in there for personal development or to hire a mentor or a consultant that's going to work with you to teach you these things because you don't know what you don't know. I mean, that's quite real. That's very real, right? But once you do know, and if you don't take action, I have no sympathy for that, right? Meeting people, yeah, that's a big one, Art. Putting myself out there, going into the world, doing these things are very important. Very important. Fortunately, I have a lot of learning through my wife, who sat on the PTA, who sits on, the dance committee, the Mills Athletic Booster Group. She's very in tune with the school system, and we're on a first name basis with just about everybody. But we constantly position ourselves. Our kids don't even go to elementary school. They're in high school and middle school, and we still do a trunk or treat for the elementary schools because it started when our kids were there. And we've nurtured these forever. And the minute you stop doing them, not a good day because you want one PTA president when her kid ages out of that elementary school to pass the information on to the next PTA president and the next and the next. You can't do that if you're sporadic. They want to know every year they can count on you to do their trunk or treat, Art. So that's very important, and you got to realize your bandwidth and your budget. But again, what I lack in money to donate, I can donate my services, right? I can donate my services. And that's a big one because they're always short staffed. Art saying meeting people in school PTAs, I guess. Okay. I'm strong in homeschool, but did not work through the school system needs. So yeah, I mean, it's a process. But again, Art, you go out there with your hand out this way, it's transactional. You go out there giving and saying, hey, can I donate my time for this or that or this or that? They love it because they're always short staffed. And that's a philosophy, right? Our business is one of service. We love giving back. We do so in 3 ways. 1, we can donate to your silent auction. 2, we can donate our physical services to you, right? Crossing guard, different things. I served spaghetti at some silent auction, on and on. I served food at a crab feed. Of course, I was wearing one martial arts gear, but all those things are last money. And money's the hardest because you don't always have money to donate. I drop my kids at school. I look over, there's a banner. There's a banner at my son's high school, and it says, what does Cornell, Stanford, and UC Berkeley have in common? All have students who earned black belts at one martial arts. There's an even bigger banner promoting kids karate on the other side of the baseball field. Did we pay for them? Yes. But the visibility that they know it supports the school system is phenomenal. But if you don't have the money to do that, what you do have is time. And there's a great saying, what I lack in money, I make up for in creativity. Okay? Be creative. There's a lot of things going on in your community, right? A lot of things. I remember when I was marketing, at the time I would teach classes, clean the school, and at midnight, I'm out there in San Francisco with a staple gun and flyers, putting them on wooden poles where you tore numbers off the bottom. Now you could use a QR code, right? Just be creative. Jamba Juice has a bulletin board. Starbucks has a bulletin board. Every laundromat has a bulletin board. I have a bulletin board, right? Go out there and do that. Door hangers, other than the printing costs, cost you nothing. Nothing. You just have to walk around and put door hangers on doorknobs. See, there's a lot of things you can do. You can make a little, flyer, quarter page, put it on the windshields of cars. On and on and on. On and on and on. It's just your willingness to get out there and do that. Hey, what's up, Ralph? Hello, Professor. Today on YouTube from Switzerland. Excellent martial arts. Thank you, Ralph. Thank you, sir. And, I would say talk to Ralph in Switzerland. I think Ralph's done 80% of everything I've recommended, and he went from 60 students to, I think, 230, 240 now. And it's just, there's a lot of work. Curriculum, staff development, marketing, branding. There's so many moving parts to your business. And if you don't work on all of them, there's a better chance you'll fail, right? It's not the little things that matter. It's everything that matters. Cool? All right. So keep putting your takeaways in there, and we're going to start wrapping up today's call. I love service. I love giving back. I love making a difference. If it wasn't for my sponsors who help, we wouldn't have this show. Well, I would figure out a way to do it. But I thank my sponsors for that. So let's do so. I want to thank my studio, Market Muscles, Kids Love Life Skills, LC Accounting, Kin Creative. So to Saw, great martial arts company. I buy a lot of stuff for them, sparring gear, uniforms. What I have is a relationship. Good people. My dad was one of their first clients in the 90s, and that tradition continues today with me. Market Muscles, simply the best in websites. They now have where we're going to be able to go in when they're gathering the information now. Both my phones are fundamentally tapped. So it's gathering all the calls and what we talk about with our parents. So you can create a knowledge base. Guess what's going to happen? When you call our schools, an AI agent will pick it up. How many times do people call your school when you're not open? How many times do they call late at night when you're home eating dinner? Right? So I believe AI agents are very acceptable as long as people know clearly they're talking to an AI agent from the minute they get on that phone. And I'm a mom, right? It's freaking 9 o'clock. Kids are in bed. I'm sitting there having a glass of wine doing my research. I don't need to have a full-blown conversation with a human being. I just need data, right? I need information. And if an AI agent is trained well enough to have all the information they need to answer their questions in a service-based manner, you're good for go. So I love that about Market Muscles. My studio, same thing. I'm working on my AI agents in Amplify. So the way it happens now is once you opt into our website through Market Muscles, it zaps into my studio and that agent takes over, right? I'm going to use the Market Muscle one to answer phones. So again, cultivating this. Kids Love Life Skills, they come for the kicks and punches. They stay for character development. Don't tell me because you randomly talk about discipline or you have discipline, painted on your wall that you're teaching a structured life skill system. You are not. You are not. So something like Kids Love Life Skills can take care of that and more. LC Accounting, my sister, she's tough on me, but she keeps me in line. Doesn't matter how much money I make, it's how much money I save and invest. That's the difference. If you just make money and spend all of it, you're going to end up broke. And Kin, I think what we're doing at Kin is definitely beyond your cut and paste, kid out there that's running these commercials and stuff because they have a computer and they took a Facebook class. That's not it. That's not it. You want real storytellers, people who are creative, that are going to go out there and set you apart from the competition. That's it. And we do that at Kin Creative. All of these services I use, reach out to us and we're happy to share more. Cool. All right. It's time group mentoring. Ask Ralph. He worked with me. Having a great mentor is what makes or break people. Fortunately for Ralph, he saw that. He was an auto mechanic and he recognized he needed a new skill set. And he came to me, and I'm grateful for Ralph's success. Our It's Time Group Mentoring can help you achieve that. And so I want you to be mindful of that. You spend all this money on rent and everything else, yet you spend so little on your business learning, on your level 5 leadership learning, on all the things it takes to create not only a successful business, but a sustainable one, a growth-oriented one. Cool? All right. It's been a good day. Make sure you go back and watch this one. There's so many gems here that can really help you better your business and grow it. The goal is what I do today will determine my future. You want to have a great 2026, then you need to be working on it now. Not 1 week before the end of the month, and you're hitting me up at Facebook going, how do I get 10 new students? I need to make rent. That's not it. You need to go back to the drawing board, start with a business plan, and do it right. Get your chops, become a great business person. If you believe you're a great martial artist and you're a great martial arts instructor, then do the extra work now. Do the kind of work that's going to bridge the gap and help you create your version of success. Cool? All right. So where can you find me? You can find me everywhere. There you go. Find this podcast on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, iHeart. It's everywhere. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Personally, there's 10 years of learning there. That'll benefit you. Join our Disruptor group. Join our Success Never Sleeps group at Facebook. Follow me at Instagram. And then for everything else, go to brandonbeliso.com. Cool? All right. Happy holidays, everybody. It's a good time. It's a really, really good time. I love the holidays because it instills hope. Hope is manifested through gratitude. You got to believe. If you don't believe, as you go through the hardships of owning a small business, you'll compound that, and it doesn't help you emotionally, mentally, spiritually, or physically. Cool? Think about that as we get ready to enjoy the holidays and gear up for 2026. All right? I'm Brandon Beliso. This is Success Never Sleeps. Until we talk again, please, 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 you go out there, live your best life